The bullet didn't kill me the first time. It was the cold, the endless dark of that goddamn forest in the Cascades, where my own son had dumped me like yesterday's trash for a twisted TikTok prank that went viral before I even drew my last breath. I remember the metallic tang of blood in my mouth, not from the shot. Hell, there was no shot, but from biting my tongue as I stumbled over roots, whispering his name, Jake, over and over like a prayer to a devil who'd already cashed out. And then nothing. Blackness. Until the world snapped back into focus, and I was staring at my reflection in the rearview mirror of my beat-up Ford Escape, 48 years old again, the lines on my face softer, the betrayal not yet etched into my bones. It was the morning of the hike. October 15th, 2023, a crisp fall day in Seattle suburbs that smelled like wet pine and regret. I'd woken up in my bed, sheets tangled around me like a noose I hadn't tightened yet. My heart hammered so hard I thought it'd burst right there, but it was my heart, alive, pounding with the fury of a second chance. Trung Sin, they call it in those Korean dramas Riley binge-watched during her endless night shifts at the hospital. Rebirth. But this wasn't some fairy tale reset. This was a loaded gun handed back to me, and I knew exactly where to aim. I sat up, gasping, the dream, no, the memory, of dying clawing at my throat. Jake's laugh echoing through the trees as he drove off, yelling, "Mom, it's just a joke. Follow the trail back." But there was no trail. He'd chosen that spot deliberate, a forgotten logging road off Highway 2, where cell service died faster than hope. The video he'd posted later, after the search parties gave up, racked up millions of views. Pranking my mom in the woods, she'll kill me when she gets back. Comments flooded in. Savage bro. This is gold. And me? Riley Harlan, RN, single mom who'd scraped by on overtime and love I thought was unbreakable, reduced to a punchline. Found 3 weeks later by hikers, skeletal, and still clutching my wedding ring like it meant something.
But now?
Now I was back. Before the keys turned in the ignition. Before the lies. I swung my legs over the bed, feet hitting the cold hardwood of our 2-bedroom rental in Ballard. The house was quiet, save for the distant hum of the coffee maker I'd programmed last night in this timeline anyway. Jake was probably still snoring in his room, the one I'd painted blue when he was 5, dreaming of him becoming the man his father never was. Tom had bailed when Jake was 10, some midlife crisis bullshit involving a yoga instructor in Tahoe. Left me with a mortgage I couldn't pay and a kid who turned that abandonment into armor plated with resentment. I padded to the bathroom, splashing water on my face. The mirror showed the same hazel eyes, the same freckles across my nose, but they burned now with something feral. I wasn't going to die out there. Not again. This time, I'd make him feel the weight of what he'd done, what he was about to do. But it wasn't just the prank. In that endless dark between death and rebirth, the secrets had unraveled like a frayed rope. Jake wasn't just cruel, he was complicit. The money missing from my savings? The loans he'd begged for? It wasn't for college or his startup. It was blood money, tied to the overdose of his buddy Marcus last spring. Jake had supplied the pills, fentanyl-laced fakes he'd scored from some cartel connect in Tacoma. Covered it up, pinned it on Marcus's dealer, walked away clean while I footed the therapy bills for his guilt. That knowledge hit me like a freight train as I brushed my teeth, foam flecking the sink. I'd confronted him once, in the original timeline after the forest. Weak, broken, I'd begged for truth. He gaslit me. "Mom, you're paranoid. It's the trauma." And I believed him, because what mother wouldn't?
But now?
Fuck that. I rinsed, spat, and met my own gaze. "Riley," I whispered, "you're done being the fool." Downstairs, the kitchen clock ticked 7:15 a.m. Jake sneakers by the door, scuffed Nikes he'd borrowed from my closet once upon a time. I poured coffee, black as my mood, and scrolled my phone. No viral video yet, of course not. But the text from last night glowed. "Mom, tomorrow's hike is gonna be epic. Trust me."
Trust.
The word tasted like ash. I typed back, casual as a summer breeze. Can't wait, kiddo. Pack extra water. Then I deleted it.
No.
This time I'd play along. Let him think he had the upper hand. Let him drive us out there, to that cursed spot. But halfway, I'd flip the script. The stairs creaked. Jake shuffled in, 22 and built like his dad. Broad shoulders, that cocky grin that used to melt me. Hair tousled, wearing the same hoodie from the nightmare, the one with the faded Mariners logo.
Morning, Ma.
You up early. Night shift jitters. I forced a smile, handing him a mug. Just excited for our adventure. You know me, woods, and I go way back.
Lie.
I'd grown up in Phoenix, asphalt and cacti, not this misty Pacific Northwest gloom. But he'd sold me on it, bonding time before he moved out for good. Bullshit. He was running from the cops circling Marcus's death, whispers of an investigation that had gone cold until it didn't. He slurped coffee, oblivious.
Cool.
Grab your gear. We leave in 30. I nodded, heart a war drum. Upstairs, I packed a backpack, not with granola bars and a map, but with my laptop, a burner phone I'd buy on the way, and Tom's old hunting knife, sheathed and heavy in my palm. Not to hurt him.
God, no.
But to remind myself, survival wasn't pretty. We hit the road at 8:02, Jake blasting some trap remix that rattled the windows. 5 north, then east on 2, evergreens blurring into a green tunnel. He chattered about his app idea, a social media thing for pranks, monetized virality. I hummed along, but inside, I was mapping exits, memorizing mile markers. The forest loomed after an hour, that turnoff unmarked on Google, but burned into my soul. Gravel crunched under tires as he pulled over. All right, Mom. The challenge, you hike back to the car from here. I'll give you a head start, then post the vid. Hilarious, right? His eyes sparkled with that boyish mischief I'd always excused. In the original, I'd laughed nervously, stepped out. This time I did too, but as the door clicked shut, I leaned in the window.
Jake.
What if I told you I know about Marcus? He blinked, grin faltering.
What?
Mom, that's random.
Dud od det.
Tragic, but... The pills were yours. My voice steady, a scalpel's edge. You texted him that night. I saw the logs after you borrowed my phone. Color drained from his face. The engine idled, a low growl. You're crazy. That's not. I cut him off, pulling the burner from my pack. Already queued, a tip line for Seattle PD, anonymous, with timestamps and screenshots I'd printed in secret last night. Wait, no. In this life, I'd woken with the knowledge, but not the evidence.
Shit.
Rebirth didn't come with a cheat sheet. But I bluffed hard. I forwarded it all. They're waiting for my call from the trail. He slammed the gear shift, face twisting. You bitch. You think you can. Drive away, Jake. Leave me here. But this time when I walk out, it'll be with handcuffs for you. I stepped back, rain starting to spit from the sky. He revved, tires spinning mud. Gone in seconds. Just like before. But now I wasn't lost. I had the compass of rage. I hiked, not back to the car, but deeper, to a ranger station 5 miles south I'd scouted in my mind's eye from the first death. Phone's signal flickered at noon, I called. Yes, officer. My son. He's involved in a death. Fentanyl. Here's what I know. By dusk, sirens wailed distant. I hitched a ride to a motel in Monroe. Paid cash. Jake's text blew up. Mom? Where are you? This isn't funny. Then rage. You set me up? I ignored them, watching news feeds. Arrest at dawn. But that was just the appetizer. Revenge wasn't a sprint. It was a marathon of thorns. And I was lacing up. The motel room smelled like stale smoke and desperation, the kind that clings to truckers and runaways passing through Monroe on their way to nowhere. I bolted the door, drew the curtains, and sank onto the lumpy bed, the weight of what I'd unleashed pressing down like the Cascade fog. Jake in cuffs by morning, his face splashed across local feeds, that pretty boy mugshot with eyes wide as saucers. Son of local nurse charged in fentanyl overdose. The headline would gut him, but it was the fine print that'd carve him hollow. Accomplices named, his startup unmasked as a front for dealing apps that coded drop points. I shouldn't have felt the twist in my gut. This was justice, right? For Marcus, a quiet kid with dreams of graphic design, dead at 21 because my son chased likes over lives. For me, the mom who'd covered his ass since diapers, lying to social workers when his grades tanked, blaming Tom's ghost for the anger issues. But as I stared at the peeling wallpaper, doubt crept in like damp rot. Was I the monster now? Betraying blood for truth? In America, Willie Eyes the whistleblower, think Snowden, hiding in plain sight. But when it's family, that's the controversy that sells therapy sessions and true crime pods. Sleep came fitful, dreams splicing timelines. Jake as the toddler hugging my knees during chemo scares. I'd beaten breast cancer at 35, a war that left scars but not surrender. Then Jake the teen, swiping my pills for friends. Woke at 4 a.m. to rain lashing the window. Grabbed the laptop. Time to dig deeper. The secrets didn't stop at Marcus. In the void of death, fragments had surfaced. Tom's affair wasn't yoga. It was embezzlement from his firm, funds siphoned to Jake's education account. I discovered it post-Forest too late. Tom dead in a car wreck 2 years back, suspicious, per the cold case file I'd obsessively read. Jake had been home that weekend, alibi airtight, gaming with brothers. But the odometer tampering?
Sloppy.
I logged into the dark web forum I'd bookmarked in my head. Nurse's curiosity from late shifts, chasing ghosts. VPN up, anonymous. Searched, Harlan embezzlement, 2021. Threads popped. Whispers of insurance fraud, Tom's sedan totaled with mileage fudged. And Jake, his Reddit handle, buried in a throwaway, boasting about fixing family problems. Son of a bitch. He'd covered for dad, then used the cash to fuel his empire of highs. The betrayal layered like sedimentary rock, Tom's greed, Jake's inheritance of it, me the bedrock crushed beneath. Dawn broke gray. I checked out, hitched back to Seattle on a logging truck, the driver's stories of lost trails mirroring my own. Home by 10 a.m., the Ballard house a tomb of normalcy, Jake's protein shakes in the fridge, my scrubs hung neat. But the door was ajar. Cops?
No.
A note on the counter, his handwriting shaky. Mom, if you're reading this, you're a traitor. I know what you did to Dad. My blood iced. What the hell? I'd never. Flash. In the original timeline, post-arrest, he'd flipped it during interrogation. Accused me of pushing Tom off the road during a fight. I'd laughed it off as delirium, but the seed planted doubt in detectives. Now, with the tip fresh, he'd preempt. I snatched my phone. Voicemails from unknown. A gravelly voice. Harlan? We need to talk about your old man. Cartel? No, PI hired by Jake's lawyer, sniffing for leverage. Panic clawed, but I shoved it down. This was the game now, chess with knives. I called work, faked flu. Then, the controversial call. I dialed Aunt Lydia, Tom's sister, the family black sheep who'd cut ties after the wreck. Estranged, but blood. LYD? It's Riley. I need dirt on Tom. And Jake. She paused, voice whiskey rough from years in Reno casinos. Girl, you finally waking up? Tom's mess was bigger than you knew.
Come see me.
Bring bourbon. Flight booked. Cheap red-eye to Nevada. But first, the hike site. I drove back, alone this time, the forest mocking me with golden leaves like confetti at a funeral. At the pull-off, I knelt, soil damp under gloves. Dug shallow, not for bodies, but evidence. Jake's lost earring from the prank, a silver hoop I'd bought him for his 18th. DNA?
Useless now.
But symbolic. Pocketing it, I whispered, your turn to chase shadows. Reno hit like a slot machine jackpot. Neon assault, air thick with vice. Lydia met me at baggage, 60 and fierce in leopard print, hugging like we'd never parted. Her trailer on the outskirts reeked of menthols and microwave burritos. Over bourbon. Hers cheap, mine straight from the heart, she spilled. Tom didn't crash, honey. Brakes cut. I hired a guy after the funeral. Ex-cop, shady but straight. Found tool marks. And your boy?
Jake was there, all right.
Not gaming. He and Tom fought that night, over the money. Jake wanted more for his business. Tom refused. Next morning? Wreck. My glass trembled. Jake. Sabotaged it. Lydia lit up, exhaled smoke rings. I think so. But no proof.
Kid's slick.
Used your nursing shifts as cover, said you were out late. If you blow the whistle, it's you versus him. Mud sticks both ways. The decision loomed, controversial as hell. Accuse my son of patricide? In red state America, family loyalty's gospel. Snitch on kin. You're the villain. But let it slide? I'd be complicit. Same as before. I drained the glass. I need the PI's file. She slid a USB. Cost you.
And Riley?
That boy's poison. Save yourself. Back in Seattle 2 days later, Jake out on bail, daddy's ill-gotten bonds, I played possum. Texts, home safe.
Sorry about the hike.
Let's talk.
He bit, tonight.
8 p.m. Kitchen table.
No cups.
I prepped. File printed, bourbon waiting.
7:58, door opens.
He strides in, gaunt, eyes feral.
Mom.
You look like shit. Feel like it. I poured 2 glasses.
Seat.
We end this. He dropped into the chair, smirking through fear. And what? Your little cop call? That was low. Marcus was an accident. Fentanyl is an accident, Jake. It's murder. I slid the printouts across. And Dad. His smirk cracked. What about him? Breaks. You were there. Lydia knows. He lunged, but I was ready. Knife from the drawer. Not drawn, just visible.
Seat. Down.
American Standoff. Kitchen edition. He froze, sank back. You don't get it. Dad was stealing from clients, widows like you after cancer. I confronted him. He laughed. Said you'd take the fall if it came out. So I fixed it. For us. For us. The lie twisted like barbed wire. You killed him. Then me, in that forest. Prank my ass, it was clean up. I was asking too many questions post-arrest. Silence thick as fog. Then his whisper. Yeah, maybe. Confession hung, but no recording my bluff. The tension coiled, ready to snap. But I had one more card. The twist I'd buried even for myself. The kitchen light buzzed like a hornet trapped in glass, casting Jake's face in stark relief. Half shadow, half boy, the duality that had haunted me since his first tantrum. Bourbon swirled in his glass, untouched now, as the confession settled between us like fallout from a bomb only we could hear. Maybe, I echoed, voice a whip crack. That's what you give the woman you left to rot? A maybe? He leaned forward, elbows on the scarred oak table, the one I'd sanded smooth during his Lego phase, dreaming of family dinners that never lasted. What do you want, Mom? Absolution? I fucked up. Dad was a thief. Marcus a junkie who begged for it. You? The forest was supposed to scare you straight, stop digging. But you wouldn't quit. Quit. Laughter bubbled, bitter as the booze. I raised you. Worked doubles so you could chase dreams that were nightmares. And for what? To bury your bodies? His eyes narrowed, that mu-mo glint I'd missed for years, the same one Tom flashed before board meetings, sealing deals with smiles and sleight of hand. You buried plenty. Remember Aunt Lydia's calls? You told her Tom was faithful, even when his phone lit up with Reno numbers.
Kept the peace. Complicit, ma.
We're the same. The word stung. A mirror I hadn't wanted. Was he right? In the original timeline, post-Forest, I'd shielded him still, testified at his plea deal. He's a good kid, Your Honor, just lost. Probation, community service, a slap on the wrist while Marcus's mom wailed in the gallery. I'd chosen blood over justice, and it cost me everything. Friends, job, sanity. Rebirth stripped that illusion bare. But same?
No.
I'd been blind. He'd been the blade. I pushed the USB across. Lydia's file. Read it. Then decide if we're the same. He snatched it, plugged into his laptop, always on the table, his digital fortress. Screens glowed. PI reports, break photos, Tom's emails confessing the skim to protect the family. Jake's face paled with each scroll, fingers trembling.
This.
He emailed you? About me? About us. He knew you were dipping into the pot. Wanted to cut you off. You fixed that, all right. Silence stretched, rain pattering the window like impatient fingers. Then his voice small. I didn't mean to kill him.
Just.
Disable the car. Teach a lesson. Like you taught me. Actions have consequences, remember? After I wrecked the escape at 16? Consequences. The irony choked me. That crash? I'd covered, told insurance it was joyriders. Pattern of protection, now poisoned. Lessons end in graves, Jake. Marcus.
Tom. Me.
He slammed the laptop shut, standing abrupt. So, what now? You turn me in for dad too? Double dip on the Psycho Mom award. The decision crystallized, controversial as a loaded tweet in election season. America's darling debate. Family or the law. Post-Roe, post-January 6, we were all tribal, but snitching on your spawn? That was heresy, fodder for Fox rants and TikTok takedowns. I could, I said, rising to meet him. But I won't. Not yet. His brow furrowed. Why? Because revenge isn't cuffs. It's watching you unravel. I stepped closer, knife still in pocket, a talisman. You're gonna fix this. Confess to the PI, anonymous. Leak it to the feds. Clean the mess you made. And if I don't, you will. Or I walk into that precinct with the earring from the forest. Your DNA, the tire tracks, it's all there in my head. Rebuilt the scene while you partied on bail. Bluff again, but his flinch sold it. He paced, a caged wolf in skinny jeans. You're different. Since the hike. What happened out there?
You.
Changed. The truth clawed up, trunks in, the impossible reboot, but I swallowed it. Death does that. Almost dying. He stopped, eyes searching mine. You win, Mom. I'll do it. But one condition. You drop the nurse gig. We're out. New start.
Vancouver.
My app's legit now. Liar. The word hung. His app was the dealer net, coded drops in prank challenges. I'd seen the backend in Death's archive. No new starts. You own this. Tension peaked, air electric. He lunged, not for me, but the door. Fuck you. I'm gone. But as he yanked it open, headlights swept the drive. Cops. Earlier than bail hearing.
Neighbor's tip.
Or my anonymous nudge from the motel. Jake Harlan. A burly sergeant. Flashlight beam pinning him. You're under arrest for additional charges. Vehicular tampering, conspiracy to commit fraud. He whirled on me, betrayal raw. You called them. I gave you a chance. Heart splintered, but resolve held. As they cuffed him, he spat. You're no mom. You're a ghost. The door slammed, taillights fading into night. Alone, I sank to the floor, sobs racking. Victory?
Pyrrhic.
But the house breathed freer, secrets airing like old laundry. Next week's blurred. Court dates, media circus. Mother betrays son in drug bust shock. Controversy raged. Pundits called me hero, villain, cautionary tale. Protests outside the courthouse. Family first versus justice over blood. I testified, voice steel. He chose death. I chose life. Bail revoked. Jake's empire crumbled. App seized. Associates flipped. But in holding, he smuggled a letter. Ma, there's more. Dad's money? Not all his. You remember the clinic fire '09? Your shift. I started it. Kid stuff, insurance scam. But it killed that orderly, Mr. Ruiz. Covered it up. Forgive? The twist gutted me. Not just Tom, Marcus, me indirectly. I'd lost the job after, spiraled into overtime hell. My mistake. Trusting a pyromaniac spawn. Rage anew, but twisted with grief. Was this the end? Or fuel for deeper cut? Visitation room. Plexiglass cold. Jake, orange jumpsuit, eyes hollow. Read it.
Yeah.
I press the phone to glass. Why till now? 'Cause you're right. Unraveling. He leaned close. But if I go down full, so do you. Ruiz's family sued, settled quiet. Your signature on the report. Blackmail. The MO returned. Threats now. Partnership. Get me a deal, I bury Ruiz. The controversial fork. Save him. Bury truth? Or torch it all? America's underbelly, deals in shadows, moms as monsters. I stood. Think on it. But inside, the plan brewed, leaked to Ruiz's kin anonymously. Let them sue the estate, drag Jake's name through civil hell.
Cao trào lum, per ly hơ vinh.
I'd testify last. But as I left, guards buzzed. Visitor for him. A woman, sleek, late 30s. Not lawyer. Her glance my way, knowing. Who? The woman in the visitation lobby was a ghost from Tom's Rolodex, Elena Vasquez, the yoga instructor who'd stolen him. Or so the divorce papers claimed. But in Lydia's file, she was more. Silent partner in embezzlement, funneling funds to offshore shells. Now, here she was, prim in a pantsuit, signing out as consultant. Her eyes met mine across the fluorescent hell. Cool, appraising. Riley? Long time. I froze, coffee vending machine humming mockery. What are you doing here? Supporting a friend. Her smile, sharp as stilettos. Jake's mentioned you.
Feisty. Feisty.
The diminutive grated, like I was the punchline in their long con. Friend? Or fixer? I know about the accounts.
Ella.
She arched a brow, unfazed. Bold. But irrelevant. Tom's gone. Jake's. Misguided. I'm here to help him pivot.
Pivot? To what?
Another scam? The betrayal deepened, a chasm. Not just son against mother, but a web of lovers and liars I'd woven unwittingly. Back in the car, rain sheeting windshield, I pieced it. Elena wasn't victim. She was architect. Tom's crisis?
Her pitch. Jake's dealing?
Her connect, via Vasquez Imports, legit front for cartel cash. The forest prank? Distraction while she audited the books, siphoning my settlement. Fury ignited, pure octane. This wasn't Jake's war alone. It was theirs. And me? Collateral, twice over. Rebirth's gift sharpened? I'd end it. Controversial? Hell yes. Exposing Elena meant dragging innocents, her kids, from a prior marriage into headlines. But silence? Complicity in cartels, deaths beyond Marcus. America's opioid ghost, haunting suburbs to boardrooms. I drove to her office, downtown Bellevue, gleaming tower of glass and greed. No appointment, stormed reception like a nor'easter. Tell Vasquez Riley Harlan's here. About the fire. Her assistant paled, buzzed. Elevator up, stomach churning. Elena's corner suite overlooked Lake Washington, yachts bobbing like toys for the elite. She rose from her desk, all power pose. Riley. Dramatic entrance.
Seat. No.
I slapped the USB down Lydia's plus my additions. Jake's confession audio, sneaked during kitchen talk. Elena's emails unearthed via a shady forum hack I'd paid for in burner crypto. Game over. You, Tom, Jake, the trifecta of trash. Fentanyl, fraud, fire. Ruiz's family gets this. Cups too. She didn't flinch. Poured sparkling water. Leverage? Cute. But you're outmatched. Jake's my son, too. The twist landed like a sucker punch.
What?
Tom's?
No.
Mine and his. IVF, 15. He wanted an heir. You were. Convenient. Her laugh. Tinkling ice. The marriage? Cover. You signed the donor waiver, remember? After cancer. Desperate for normalcy. World tilted. Jake, not mine by blood, but by choice. The boy I'd nursed through chicken pox, cheered at Little League. Stolen. You bitch. He knew. Recently. Explains the resentment, no. She sipped, casual as brunch. Drop this, Riley. Walk away rich, I'll cut you in. Or fight, and watch your son. Testify you're the arsonist, Mom. Ruiz is enabler. The lie burned. I'd reported the fire clean, no cover. But muddied waters drown truth. Decision, the nuclear option. Controversial, career-ending, go public. Not courts, media. Dateline America thrived on this. Betrayal, hidden paternities, cartel moms. I left without a word, drove to King 5 Studios. Producer hooked by nurse unmasks family cartel. Interview taped that night raw. My son, our son, left me for dead. But the real killer? His mother. Elena's name dropped, docs teased. Aired prime time. Viral by midnight. Chaos erupted. Elena's imports raided at dawn. Fentanyl labs in shipping crates. Jake's cell buzzed with her screams. You told her? His reply leaked. She knew everything. We're done. Plea hearing, courthouse's zoo. Cameras, protesters chanting moms for justice. Versus snitch on kin, burn in hell. I took the stand, voice steady under lights. Jake Harlan killed my husband. Dealt death to friends. Abandoned me. But Elena Vasquez? She built the empire on lies, including claiming my son as hers. Gasps rippled. Jake, shackled, met my eyes. Not hate, but hollow defeat. Mom. Elena, in the gallery, slipped out, fugitive now, her pivot to Mexico whispers. Verdict, Jake, life with parole shot. No deal, truth tsunami too big. As bailiffs led him, he mouthed, sorry. Post-trial, the house sold, tainted. I moved to Phoenix, roots calling. Cancer scar itched less in desert sun. New job. Advocacy. Opioid reform. Controversial figure? Sure. Podcast debated. Hero or heartless? But mirrors showed peace, not lines of loss. One night, letter arrived. Jake, from Supermax. Not yours by blood, but you were mom. The forest? My worst. Forgive? Rebuild? I burned it. Ashes to wind. Rebirth wasn't reunion, it was release. Some debts unpaid. But mine? Collected in full. America's tense, twisted tale. Sometimes, the ghost walks free. Epilogue hook. Months later, Elena's postcard from Juarez. He's ours. Watch your back. The game never ends. But this time I had the map.